Bartlett. King.
Present.
Pugh.
Present.
McDonald.
Here.
Galogly.
Here.
Deskin.
Here.
Bergbauer.
Here.
Bartleson.
Here.
Saban. We have a quorum.
Well, how about liaison reports? Anybody got anything going on?
I think I'm going first. Did we get? Okay, no, go.
Oh, yeah, we got an order of slides as you go. Who's the first on the deck?
The budget award.
Oh, that's better. Yeah.
Oh, so we'll ease into it.
So Pat can do it.
Not that I'm a favorite or anything, but I was happy going forth, but no. A few months ago, I mentioned that we had submitted our budget to the GFOA and to take a look at it. In past years, we submitted it and we were honored by this award. This year, once again, due to the fine work of the finance team and staff, we get the Distinguished Budget Presentation Award, City of Lockport, and great job to our financial staff, and keeping the city going strong, and keeping it very open to the public. If you're curious, you can go to the website and actually look at the fiscal year budget, so if you want to take a look at what was in the budget, it'd be a good place to start, so thank you.
Well, thank you, Lisa. Bravo. Oh my gosh, forgot to open us in prayer. Please, Mitzi, our police chaplain's here to open us up. Thank you. This is what happens when I miss 2 meetings. I like.
Great God, thank you for today, for the blessing of prosperity and peace in our community. Thank you for our mayor, our aldermen and women, our first responders, our educators, and for all those who keep this city hungry. Bless them, their families, and their homes. Please give this board wisdom, insight, and creativity as they deliberate and decide the business at hand tonight. Thank you.
And thank you, Mitzi. Appreciate it. Back to ladies.
I'm up next. We have actually quite a lot of things going on. The city of Lockport is having a rain barrel and composter sale. The city will give a 50% subsidy for residents. The event for pickup is June 23rd through the 27th. I believe you register online at the city website. It's from 7:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is put on by the City of Lockport and the Conservation Foundation. We have these rain barrels and the composter. They're very sturdy, they're nice to use, and it's a good way to save some water.
Do you know what the prices are after the subsidy? $35. Do I have 25?
Okay, and then I'm actually going to go back in time because we had a Bloom meeting at the library that went very well. We had about 50 people in attendance, and it was well received. We also sold plants there, and it was, what else can I say? It was a fun event. And then we also, after that, the Saturday following, we had a event which was Lockport Recycles, and the LTHAS Interact students got 200 pounds of plastic bags. They're on their way to 1,000. 1,000 will get them a bench. So, and then the next thing coming up, May 17th, is the pop-up party at the Bloom Garden. What we're doing is we're kind of piggybacking with Clean Sweep. So Clean Sweep is from 8:30 until, I believe, 12:30. At 11 a.m., we will be at the garden. It's information only, and just see what we have going on and our future events and what kind of plants we have in there. That's it. That's all I got.
That's a lot. Thank you, Christina. Bravo.
Okay, so it is time for the spring and summer property beautification contest. And the properties are nominated by the city elected officials as well as staff and neighbors, and based on curb appeal, decorations, and overall maintenance. All nominees will be recognized and one winner per ward, as we did last year, will be chosen at the August 6th City Council meeting. Please confirm your nomination by emailing Brittany at bcalderon@lockport.org by July 14th. Yes, so please keep your eyes out, and if you have anyone, let them know that, recognize them, that their home looks very appealing, and to encourage them to go online, and actually they can then put their homes, for recognition. So, yeah, that's about it.
Thank you, Joanne.
Okay, so Lockport Council of Arts is at it again. This presents Mission 1895. Step into an alternate Lockport set in year 1895, where a fantastical adventure awaits. This unique story unfolds across 40 collector cards, each filled with thrilling tales and vibrant imagery. A digital and paper map guiding you to the locations of these cards will be available at the White Oak Library and online this summer. www.mission1895.com. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Ooh, there's your bloom garden. Yeah, these are some of the Facebook posts that they're putting together. It's actually really fun. They, I mean, if you guys remember, we did this with the cards like 10 years ago, but with all the crazy AI technology, it's just been a lot of fun to get these characters to talk now and speak and do different things. And so, yeah, this should be a lot of fun. So thanks, Renee, for putting that out there.
I do. From the police department. On Thursday, April 24th, our newest police officer and former community service officer, Jacob Van Bysum, graduated from the Police Training Institute Police Academy in Champaign, and he's currently in the department's 12-week field training program. On Friday, May 16th, the annual Cop on a Rooftop Special Olympics fundraiser will be taking place at both of our Lockport Dunkin' Donuts locations from 5 a.m. till 12 p.m. On Friday, May 23rd, Commander Patrick Ellenson will be graduating from the Northwestern University Center for Public Safety School of Police Staff and Command. This is a 10-week program that educates police supervisors in all areas of police supervision and management. And finally, during the month of April, Lockport officers took part in the Distracted Driving campaign, which resulted in 95 citations being issued for cell phone use and an additional 14 citations being issued for other moving and/or equipment violations. This is part of the Illinois Department of Transportation grant that the police department applies for and receives yearly to enforce traffic laws in addition to their regular traffic enforcement goals. That's all.
All right, thank you, Jonathan.
What is the date again for the Dunkin' Donuts?
Friday, May 16th.
Day 16, okay, thank you. Right on.
Excuse me, Mayor, could I just backtrack just a moment?
By all means.
Everyone has received some flyers here. This will help you that if you do see a property that you would like to recognize, and there is a scan QR code, thank you. QR code that you could scan and nominate their homes and so forth, okay?
So we leave this behind?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah, you can put it by their door, or ring
Great.
their doorbell and give it to them in person, whatever you feel comfortable in doing, okay? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I see we got the back page of the travel, Illinois travel, first 100
Yes, saw
miles,
that.
that's nice.
Nice.
Who did Ben have to sleep with to get that on there, man? All right, very good. Anything else? Anybody got any other things? All right. So, I did want to take a moment to recognize Renee, and so, come on down to the podium, Renee, please, and thank you. Seems like yesterday, Renee, I was like talking to you at, they come and say, hey, you gotta run, you gotta be on the council with us. And you've been a wonderful person on the council. We appreciated all of your insights and your efforts and all the things you did. Appreciated working with the Summer Art Series Committee and being that liaison. This has been really wonderful, and we are gonna miss you, and I know you have bigger and better things happening in your life. But thank you so much for all that you've done. We have a plaque for you, so you won't forget us. You're up there in your igloo and. Very fun. Well, thank you so much.
So hopefully I can kind of get through this because I'm not very good at this and it's a little emotional for me. It's been a great trip and adventure. So first of all, I'd like to say that it's been an honor and privilege to work with so many talented individuals. The way the city staff and council communicates is commendable. I've learned so much in the 8 years that I've served on city council. I definitely feel that the city has really come a long way and progressed in such a positive note since I moved here in 1999. The growth has been so well balanced as to not have commercial overpower residential and even vice versa, much to do with our economic developer director, Lance Thies. Our city staff is above all that I've encountered. Our finance director, Lisa Hegland, has award-winning efficiency and knowledge to keep the budget balanced. Public Works, Brian Lovering, faces many, many hurdles with our historic downtown streets and our community water wells, yet they still seem to maintain their above-beyond service. Chief Harang keeps our city safe, and it is endearing to see how his force does so many heartwarming things for our community. Michael, our new attorney, while you have some big shoes to fill with Sonny, I do undoubtedly feel that you're going to fit right in. Ben Benton and his city ministry and his fabulous assistant, Brittany Cauldron, somehow seem to be on top of all and everything that is going on in Lockport. Sorry. Kathleen, you keep us all organized and in check, probably the hardest position of all of us. And to each and every city council member, I am so proud to have served next to you. We have had our disagreements, yet always seem to come to a reasonable and fair decision for what is best for the city and our constituents. You have all brought your own value to the board, and it's such a great meld. Okay. One more. Steve.
There's more.
Your passion for the city of Lockport is unwavering. The positive things that you have accomplished are enormous. And, of course, behind every great mayor is a great first lady. Wendy brings so much genuine art and soul to the city, thus enticing not only our own residents, but those from surrounding communities to see what's coming to Lockport next. So with all that, I'd like to thank Lockport for showing me how a fine-tuned motor works. Thank you.
Oh, my. All right, my friends. And Mike, remember those shoes you have to fill are stilettos, so. Yeah. All right, my friends, so we have, looking for a motion to have a consent agenda this evening.
Second.
All right, Renee's getting all her seconds in as she can, so. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So we're looking for a motion for approval for regular city council meeting minutes from April 16th. our payroll period ending April 13th and April 27th, and our bills through April 29th. So looking for a motion for approval.
Second.
Okay. We'll do a roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. So how do you guys want to work this? I thought we need to vote on our stuff before we swear in new people.
Let's just flip them. We'll go K and then I.
Yeah, okay. This is one to double check that we're all good with that. Okay. So we're going to jump down to K, and we're looking for approval for reappointment of, oh, I see. Most of these are all reappointments. We don't actually have any business, though. It's all appointments.
None of the council. And we could do the swearing in and then do it and then transition to the new. It doesn't.
Yeah, that's fine, I understand. I mean, the only one on here is, why don't we do this? I think appointments should be with new council, but PW1 is a item that we talked about. So let's do PW1. So we're looking for a motion for approval for a proposal for V3 construction for the 2025 Old Canal Days Festival grounds, grading and maintenance not to exceed $50,000. It's resolution 25045. So we're looking for.
I make that motion. Second.
All right, Christina and Susie, any thoughts, questions, concerns on that one?
Is this
Ready to
less
go.
than it was prior to the paving?
That's question 4.
Is this lower than it was prior to doing the paving? Work out
It's-
there, about the same?
I wasn't here before that, so I'm not sure. But from what I understand is, this was almost equivalent to what we did last year to it, after the pave. So we're just adding probably another inch of the fine aggregate, and then kind of getting out some of the low areas that we
Yeah.
discovered during the rain event.
Yeah, I saw some grade, or, pay attention to grading in this direction or that.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be
Thanks.
doing, so.
And that's going to have the stuff sprayed on it to eliminate the dust?
Yeah, it'll be done after that, as long as we can get it in, yeah. Okay. Well, with the limestone screenings, last year, believe it or not, we didn't get to it, and there was no dust at that point. The limestone screenings does have a lot less of that dust kick up.
Oh, the other product was a product with fines in it, wasn't it?
It was CA6 and
Yeah.
stuff that was used last time, so it was a little rougher.
Okay.
All right. If there's no other questions, we'll do a roll call.
Yes.
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 Yes?
Yes.
All right, so then we'll jump back and we'll do our swearing in of newly elected officials. So how do you want to do this? You guys all want to?
I would ask that maybe the mayor could do Kathy and then
Okay.
Kathy could do everyone else, or do you want to do them all at the same time?
I think we've done them all at the same time in the
Yeah,
past.
I
It's
remember
fine.
that.
Yep. All right.
She still has to be sworn in.
And we have David Pelia here too, for the treasurer.
I'm going to swear you in there, Kathy.
Solidarity, got it.
So is the old,
Step down.
so,
People vote in.
having been elected to the office of the city clerk. In the city of Lockport, in the county of Will. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
Solemnly swear and affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Constitution of the State of Illinois.
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of city clerk.
and will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the city clerk,
According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my abilities.
All right, congratulations.
And then we'll bring up Steve and everybody.
Raise your right hand, sir.
I, Stephen Schrey,
Have been elected to the office of mayor
have been elected to the office of mayor
in the city of Lockport in the county of Will,
in the city of Lockport, and county of Will,
on do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of
the
Illinois,
Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of mayor according to the best of my abilities.
of the office of mayor for the Borough of
Do you want to do Dave first? or
Yeah.
let all-
There he is. Come on up, Dave.
All right, sir, raise your right hand. All right, say I have been elected, your name, sorry. There you go, have been elected to the office of city treasurer
Have elected to the office of city treasurer
in the city of Lockport,
in the city of Lockport,
county of Will,
county of Will,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the state of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and I will faithfully discharge the duties
of the office of city treasurer
of the office of city treasurer
according to the best of my abilities.
according to the best of my ability.
Do each of you want to do it separately, or do you want to do it as a group of all?
I'm for a group.
You're for a group? So we have Susan King, Patrick McDonald, Christina Bergbauer, and Steve Cardinal. Nailed it. Sure, I'll back up a little bit so we can get all four of you. Do you want them to? Just go a little closer. And you get a closer down. And behave yourself. That's the first line. Yep. All right, raise your right hand, please. I'll ask you to say aye in your name, please. Aye. Have been elected to the office of alderman. In the city of Lockport. In the county of Will. I do solemnly swear. That I will support the Constitution of the United States. The Constitution of the state of Illinois. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of alderman. According to the best of my ability. Congratulations.
I don't know what, she must not have, we don't have it back yet.
Christina, Susan, Pat.
They're a little slow.
She's
She's in the back. Don't make me laugh, it hurts. You want to do a group photo when everybody's up? Yeah. Yeah, why not? We'll do a group photo. Yeah.
Hey, guys, we'll do our group photo now. Yeah. So, when did they come in? Or however you want to set this up, however you, what's your usual?
We've always done it up here.
Okay.
Remember that being COVID.
Our last.
We should probably just go there. We haven't used it in years. It's an air purifier. Just stick it in my nose.
Oh, maybe that'd be your white noise.
That's not a terrible idea.
You could put that right by the door, so nobody hears you.
That's not a bad idea. It does make a little noise. Yeah.
You really need to drown out.
Or put it in his office. He's got a big office.
We just want to stop him.
I'm gonna stay between Cardinal and JR, so I have more here right here than I had.
I'm looking, I'm trying to figure out, I can't see Pat, I can't see JR. So if he, Susan, you move down, right, no, between Pat and Joe. You are perfect right there, because now I can see JR. This side, you're very tall. You need to be on the end. And Joanna, if you can move in between the two men.
With these two?
No.
Oh, right here, okay.
These two. Turn sideways a bit. The other way, Joanna. There you go. Yeah, that's all. All of us. There you go. Yeah. All right, count of three. Actually, that's beautiful. 1, 2, 3. And I'll cut out a lot of this too. I will Photoshop that out. All right, 1, 2, 3. And let's hold this up more. Perfect. Thank you.
Christina, could you reach over for my glasses right there?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, friends. Now we can do some other reappointments, appointments and such. So, first, well, let me say this. Steve, you're really kind of the one new cat up here. Susie's been around a little bit now, so she's familiar. But I want to welcome you. And two, understand something, guys, that it takes a little time to spin up to this stuff, right? When I started this job, I didn't know the difference between the NBA and, an FPA. So it takes some time, but never hesitate to ask a question, please. This is a very open council. We're supportive. Nobody's ever going to think like, dude, you should know this. Don't expect you to know anything. And so if anything seems weird or wonky, ask the question, man. And I want you to feel comfortable with any of those kinds of things as we move forward. Just as everybody else, has that same leeway and opportunity. So welcome, and we're glad you're here, man. All right. So first thing on the agenda is a reappointment of Ben Benson as our city administrator. It would be Resolution 25014. So we're looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion.
All right, so we got Darren and Patrick. Any thoughts, questions about things? We'll do a roll call for Ben Benson.
King.
Yes.
Yes.
Not yet.
It's new Rangers, aren't they?
Pugh.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
Deskin.
Yes.
The drama. Bergbauer.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes?
And Cardamone.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. And I was going to mention that since 2021, the last term, a lot has happened, and actually moved my family to Lockport, and I wish I'd moved 10 years ago. It's a wonderful community. It's wonderful being here. Very proud of our staff, and we have good people here that care about what they do, and we have good elected officials that care about what happens, so that's an important thing. And I told Steve in a private conversation not too long ago that everything that's positive in my life is because I came to Lockport, so thank you for having me.
You've been a great city administrator, man. Thank you for being here. All right, next we're looking for reappointment of Rich Harang as our police chief, Resolution 25037. So we're looking for a motion.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Darren and JR. All right. Thoughts, questions? And we'll do a roll call, please.
You got it. King.
Yes.
Pugh.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
Deskin.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Cardamone.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next we're looking for a reappointment of Joe Piper to our Lockport Police Pension Board for 2 years. That is Resolution 25038.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
JR and Susie. No thoughts or questions, then we'll do a roll call.
You got it.
Did you have something?
Oops, sorry.
No, is he here?
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Okay, King,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
Deskin.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Cardamone.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next we're looking for reappointments of Tom Penn, Dale Stillwell, and Bob Morris to the H&A Commission for 3 years. That is Resolution 25039.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Okay, Christina and Joanne, any thoughts, comments on this one? And we'll do a roll call, please.
You got it. King,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
Deskin.
No.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
And Cardamone.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, next we got M5, it's appointment of Dan Murphy to the City of Lockport Board of Police Commission for a 3-year term. Resolution 25040. No thoughts, questions, then we'll do a roll call.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Okay, sorry. JR and Susie. All right, roll call, please.
Okay, you got it. King,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
Deskin.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Cardamone.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, then we have some appointments to Planning and Zoning Commission for 4-year terms under Resolution 25041. It's Joe Giorgetti, Jordan, I can never pronounce Eastern European names, I'm terrible, I'm sorry.
Isaac.
Misek, and then reappointment of Scott Likens. So we're looking for approval for those.
A motion.
Susie,
Second.
Jonathan. Thoughts or questions? Then we'll do a roll call, please.
You got it. King,
Yes.
Pugh,
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
Deskin.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Cardamone.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, then we're looking for appointments of Gary Tate, John Steele, and Alderman Steve Cardamone to the International Code Council Board of Appeals, is Resolution 25042. That's right, Steve, you get all these jobs, right? So, okay, man. No, this is good. This is actually, thank you for, take care, hint, John, for doing these things for us. Looking for a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll
JR
second.
and Susie. All right, questions, thoughts? Otherwise, we'll do a roll call.
You got it. King.
Yes.
Pugh.
Yes.
McDonald.
Yes.
Galogly.
Yes.
Deskin.
Yes.
Bergbauer.
Yes.
Bartleson.
Yes.
Cardamone.
Abstain.
Motion passes.
Well done. Good job, JR. All right. And, yep, so that takes care of all our new appointments. So, well done. Thank you guys all for those people who are here to serve on these committees. It really makes a big difference. Thank you, Jordan. Sorry, I couldn't pronounce your name, man. But thank you. These things don't happen without you guys being on these committees. I personally, I think planning and zoning has got a lot more work oftentimes than city council does, so I appreciate the time and thoughtfulness that all you guys do for these things. So, thank you again. And with that, are there any open floor comments or new business? Then I guess we'll just look for a motion to adjourn our city council meeting. Motion. Joanne? Second. And seconded by Pat. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, then we're adjourned. Thank you so much. Bravo!
Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, roll call. We're good,
Please,
roll?
yes.
All right, roll call is King. Here. Pugh.
Present.
McDonald.
Here.
Galogly.
Here.
Deskin.
Here.
Bergbauer.
Here.
Bartleson. Here. And Cardamone.
Aye.
We have a quorum.
All right, friends, so first thing on the agenda to discuss is PW1's proposal from Christopher Burke Engineering for professional engineering services for the 2025 pavement condition study, not to exceed $88,510. Anything need to speak to on that one? Any questions, thoughts, concerns?
I can just speak real quick. It's basically, the last time we did this pavement analysis was done about just over 10 years ago. So this is a refresher. What it'll do is allow us to be a little bit more insightful decisions versus about 5-6 years ago, the city actually did a windshield review of it. This is actually using more electronic equipment that will kind of give us a better assessment of where our streets are and how our program, our resurfacing programs have been going and stuff. So this will set us up for the next 10 years of street programs, and guaranteed for the next 5, and then the 5 to 10 years will be a rough idea of where we're heading and making sure we're addressing the streets in a correct manner.
Brian, when they do that, do they have to drive down every single lane
Yes.
or just each direction?
Each direction.
Each
Yeah, they'll
direction.
pick up the whole road, the radar will pick up the whole. They normally kind of go down the center most of the time.
Yeah.
If it is a 4-lane road, which we don't have too many of them, because we won't be doing the state or the county routes.
They'll do a pass in each
They'll
direction?
do 2 pass in each direction if they can.
Thanks.
All right. Any other questions?
Just a related question on some of the upcoming work in Lockport. So, what's the timeline on 9th Street? Are they gonna mill and resurface, or is that gonna be the final stage? And I know it's getting close.
Yes, so they just did the paving on the 2 outer limits, the widening part. What they'll be doing is prepping the center areas next. So there'll be some lane switching will be occurring early next week. And then they'll do the center section, reconstruction, full reconstruction. It's not just a grind and resurface. They'll bring it all the way down the base and bring it back up. And then once the middle section's done, the opposite ends will be done for the widening, the curb and everything of that. So where it was, if you're using 7th Street as the center, everything to the west, it was the south side of the street, everything to the north side of the street was done, everything to the east of 7th Street. So but in front of Dairy Queen was done, and then kind of on the opposite side of all the businesses, more the residential side, was done as you get closer to downtown. So those will switch, but that won't be for another about a month or 2. Right now, they're gonna be kind of splitting traffic, and they'll be doing the center section more like the median, what will become the center lane.
Okay, another project is the 11th Street project.
Yes.
When's the timeline on that?
That one is, right now, we're still working with ComEd to relocate a lot of the ComEd poles. That'll be within the radiuses and stuff. That's why the project hasn't started like most other years where we started earlier. They're behind, but we are still projected to start right after the 4th of July. So we'll be going in at that time and doing all of 11th Street at that time.
Thank you.
Right on. Are we good with consent on this?
Yes.
Consent, by the way, means, Steve, is that when, at the next meeting, anything that's on consent, we just kind of put it into a bundle, and they're kind of no-brainer bills. If there's ever anything that you're like, yeah, I want to vote on that, I want to voice vote on that, I don't care what it is, if anybody sees fit to want to call it out, just say I'd like it on action. And that's all that means. So if you're like, yeah, I want to hear the votes on this, you could just say action, please. So that's when we say consent and action is the difference. All right, so we're good with consent. Next is proposal from Christopher Burke Engineering in the amount of $172,130 to design the 2026 roadway reconstruction and water main replacement project.
This project is for the 2026 reconstruction water main, so similar to what we're doing on 11th and we did in 12th last year. This year in 2026, we'll be doing Hamilton Street from 8th to 11th, Washington Street from 9th to 11th, and Jefferson Street from 9th to 12th. While the scopes of it vary from block to block, all these roadways, except for the Hamilton, that would be north of 9th Street, will receive new water main. The streets that are designated for reconstruction will undergo full pavement removal, earth excavation, curb installation, sidewalk enhancements, subgrade improvements, and then a full new HMA surface. The streets that are getting resurfaced will be basically a mill and overlay, along with curb and sidewalk rehab. There will be some streetscape included on the project, and that's basically the gist of where we're at right now with the project. We'll be under construction, hopefully next spring will be, our goal is to have it out to bid by the end of this year.
Okay. How are you guys handling on Washington Street, like where Gladys Fox is? Like, you know, there's a lot of parking spaces there. How far are you guys extending that? Like, what does that look like?
Yeah, right now, the Gladys part where the museum thing is, that will be probably some or will be on-street parking, will be parking spaces. There are several apartment buildings throughout the area, and just like we have on 11th and 12th, we've had the same. We'll address those as we get to them. We'll look at it once we have preliminary plans. We'll approach each business or apartment rental and kind of discuss if we can move some of their parking off the street and on-site, we'll do that. But depending on how many units they have, we sometimes will have to be flexible and actually give them parking for that. So we handle case-by-case basis depending on what it is and how it is, so.
All right, very good.
I just had a quick question. When's the last time this was done?
The Hamiltons and all that?
Yeah.
Woof.
Really long time ago.
Well, yes, I would say Jefferson Street from 9th to 10th was actually resurfaced and reconstructed. That one only needs the water main redone. That was, I'm not even sure what the year, but.
It was like probably 2012, because I lived there. Yeah. And that's the classic example of when we would do something, you know, and not do it all at once. It's like, oh my gosh, why are we tearing this back up for what we should have done water main to begin with? So it's kind of a thing of the past, but this is one of those catch-up ones, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, when I lived there, I thought it was done then, and that would have been probably right around 2012.
Yeah, so there are some of the streets like that, but the water main unfortunately was not done. So that section of the roadway will get the water main and then get a patch and a mill and overlay only, not a full recon. Okay. Whereas like some of Hamilton, when you look just south of 9th Street and going to 10th, there's that jog and the weird alignment. That'll be corrected with some of the streetscape over there. And then same thing with Jefferson, as you head south from 10th Street, the roads narrow quite a bit. So those have never been touched for a very long time.
Brian, this might be too in-depth for this meeting here. You mentioned there's a lot of rental properties there and for off-street parking. Yes. Gladys Fox will have perpendicular parking to the building, meaning they pull in face nose to, and then what about the rental properties? Are those going to be?
It's depending on the case by case. What we'll do is we look at them. There are some that don't have the off-street land and space to do, so we will accommodate and figure out how many units there are and what the actual needs are for that to provide some parking and pull-in spaces like that within the right-of-way. If we can get them off street, which we have done in the past, that's what we try and strive to do, work with the business.
So who pays for that? I mean, that's not, I mean, then we're going to have residents going, I want to have, you know, the ability to park my 7th car and I want to have a parking spot.
Yeah, if it is a business, like a rental and all that, we do have a 50-50 program where we'll go in where if we're displacing where they currently park on the gravel or the side, because there is no curb. There is a 50/50 program that we pay for 50% of the improvement on the private property to get the right parking spaces off. If it is all in the right-of-way, then it's just part of the right-of-way project.
It is definitely unique because of the Gladys Fox. If it wasn't the Gladys Fox there, we wouldn't be doing it. But it's because it's an event place and lots of people park there. It's kind of like, if you had a home that was turned into an apartment, it's kind of like it's a little bit of works out because it might be I think this is what they're looking at, is like, do we do this? I personally don't have a problem with it, because I understand the Gladys Fox has a lot of people there, a lot of times they're older too, and so being able to have that row of parking makes sense, and if it happens to benefit some, house that's become multi-unit, well, that happens once in a while, it works out, but if it wasn't for Gladys Fox, it would be a different scenario, so.
And a lot of this is also in the downtown area, so it kind of fits a little bit. It's not that far away from where we do have other parking spaces. I mean, you wouldn't find this as you go toward the east or anything. You wouldn't get these kind of developments and stuff like that. Okay.
So let me understand then. So if I'm thinking right next to the Gladys Fox, it's gravel. So if you decide to make that parking, are you doing a 50% on concrete? Or does it stay gravel?
It would be, gravel goes to HMA, so hot mix asphalt, so it'll go to bituminous material, so it'll be like the roadway. So we don't convert, like those parking spaces and everything, if it goes on the private property, it would only be HMA pavement. So we wouldn't actually go up to concrete. If the apron is concrete, it goes to concrete. We replace
Okay.
it. So we replace in kind. We just don't, gravel ends up getting upgraded to HMA because we don't allow gravel.
Okay.
So.
All right, I have a couple more. I thought some of these streets were pulled off of the project that's supposed to be done this year, right? And so were they not already designed ahead of time? or-
Yeah, we did have some of the survey work done on some of these, and that data will be utilized, and the design was starting to go, but we didn't complete it all the way because we kind of knew where we were midway through to pull them. So C-Bell will get the transfer. We went to a different consultant. So C-Bell has actually already reached out, and they will be getting the transfer of that data from the previous designer, so we won't lose any of that design. This is in addition to the rest of this part of it.
And then my other question is about the streetscape. I assume that's going to be down on Hamilton between 9th and 10th, or 9th and 11th. Does Christopher Burke then have to follow the guidelines that we have from I don't know how long ago, with Tesca and V3? Are they given, this is what we like and this is what we want, or is Christopher Burke allowed to start over and say, this is what we're streetscaping, do you like it, kind of thing? How does this work?
Yeah, they will get the same files from V3 and transfer, because we have a lot of that data, so we'll give that to them, and it will match exactly what was done on State Street and 9th Street and stuff like that. So everything will be cohesive throughout the whole area, and we'll use the same products, same specs, same details and everything. So it will look very similar. We'll come up and try to mimic it, and then,
Would that be just on the one side of the street, on the west side of Hamilton, or is that type of streetscape go to cross the street as well? I don't think, we haven't gone this far out with streetscapes.
That's kind of the boundary. I mean, I would envision the west side only, and probably standard on the other side, but I mean, we can.
yeah, I would have to see what businesses, like at the corners there might be, but if it goes in front of residential, we wouldn't, if it goes into a house, but as long as I know like the intersection of 10th, we'll probably try to incorporate the four corners. I know it is definitely on the west side between 9th and 10th. I think there's some residential homes just north of 10th, and then it kind of goes into business, so it might be a little bit, but if it's in front of a resident, we probably aren't going to put the hardscape and all that, planters and stuff in front of it. So
We
that
might
wouldn't
try to
be-
elaborate in front of Cool Creations. We have some temporary seating here now that people enjoy, so I'm looking forward to seeing what the design.
It's an interesting question though, JR, because it's like, you've got that interesting office building with a courtyard, right? And then you've got Allegra, which has been, you know, a business for a long time. And then you've got, you know, basically two houses and then the funeral home. I think one of the things in, you know, skipping ahead just to the strategic plan is like, part of that is, when we get to it, is like, where are we going with our downtown? Is there ways to expand it or go further? And that's the kind of thing that I think we would be talking about. Like, do you take that sidewalk and streetscape a little further? So maybe that's where you were going with this, and I think it's a good time to think about it, right? So, why don't we talk about that a little bit as this moves on, think through that a little bit.
Yeah, as soon as I get preliminary plans and get the base of map sheets done, we can sit down and talk about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like JR's idea too. You know, if we're gonna put a couple of parking spaces in there, we have one opportunity, and it's next year. It might only be 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'll make a difference.
6 or 7 or 6 or 7.
Yep.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so, we good with consent then? Okay. All right, and then, we have amendment to special use permit for planned development, final plat of re-subdivision, and preliminary final development plan review for Wendy's, with a drive-through at lot number 2 at the Springs. So, what do you got, Lance?
Thank you, Mayor. This is related to ordinance 25004. The applicant is Richard B. Silverman, who is in the audience tonight on behalf of MJK Real Estate Holding Company. They are seeking the amendment to the Springs at Lockport Plan Development, the final plat of re-subdivision of the Springs at Lockport Lot 2 to create lots 1, 2, and 3, and preliminary final development plan review for the Wendy's standalone commercial building and drive-through on Lot 1, which is the furthest west lot that you see on your screen. Subject property is generally located north of 159th Street, east of Edelman Road, and west of 355. Lot 2 of the Springs at Lockport consists of approximately 2.76 acres that was platted as a part of the Continental Springs at Lockport apartment development. The plan development allows for a commercial development on the outlots. That was the way that we had originally set it up. And those are along 159th Street, and they are all Zone C3. The applicant has submitted a final plat of re-subdivision of Lot 2. That is on your screen, which will create the 3 smaller new lots, lots 1, 2, and 3, and then the division will result in 1 extra lot beyond what was there originally. So on your screen, you see the 3 different lots. Obviously, as you might imagine, the intent is to develop those 2 other lots as we continue to move east with continuing development, but the one in red is the one that is most important. This is the final site plan for the Wendy's itself. You can see the internal commercial street that is in existence today. That's the one that is asphalted that goes east to west off of the intersection where you would typically turn left to go to Pops or some of the office buildings in the back. The drive-through stacking is shown around the west side of the building, wrapping around to the north. The building is in yellow. The parking lot is on the east side of the building with a bypass lane that you can access it as well if you go around the drive-through. And then Edelman Drive is there to the left of the entire development. We will have sidewalk that goes along Edelman Drive for the first time so that people can actually get from the Springs and from the office buildings in the back up to the front. We are stopping at Short as a part of this project before we get to the 159th Street right-of-way. Given what we have experienced with the Springs dealing with IDOT, we know that if we tried to engage IDOT as part of this project for this project, it would take us much longer than what it will take to actually build the project. So we are getting a fee in lieu of for the cost of that sidewalk in order so that we can install it all at once as these develop east and west. So what that will allow us to do is, as opposed to having sidewalk that's 2 years old or 3 years old or 4 years old, by the time that we get all the way east, we'll be able to have one fresh new sidewalk all at once. So that'll go from the intersection. We will be making improvements to cross Edelman Drive as a pedestrian crosswalk to get to the sidewalk on the west side of there. And then also, if you want to cross to the south, on the south side of 159th Street, that would allow you to do that as well. The landscape plan is on your screen. It currently meets all of our requirements. There will be a main sign out in front. You can kind of see a very small rectangle in the bottom left-hand corner of it. It is vertically oriented on the screen or on the plan. That sign will not only advertise the Wendy's, it will also advertise the Springs at Lockport as well as any of the other commercial lots as they develop. This is what the architecture of the building looks like. It is one of Wendy's newer prototypes. Meets all of our architectural requirements. The outdoor seating area in the front will have a fence around it to protect it from the traffic that goes around it, as well as additional landscaping that would be in front of that as well. These are the elevations. On the top, you see the south elevation. That is what will face 159th Street. On the bottom is the east elevation. That will be what you see as you come around the building. And then on the next screen, we have the north side. This is what would face Continental. And then the west side, that would be what would face people coming in on Edelman Drive. We worked with the applicant a number of times on the circulation on this site. It's a very challenging site because there is no access directly off of Edelman Drive. So what you might see typically is somebody that could turn left onto Edelman and then turn right away right into the Wendy's. We can't do that on this site because we don't have that access, and there is a significant grade change. One of the things to keep in mind as we continue to march east with other developments that are coming is there is a significant amount of grade change on these properties. This is not like our typical flat Lockport Square project where you can see every single development all the way down. From at the top of the hill down to the bottom of the hill, there's about 25 feet of grade change. So if you think about that in the context of a building, it's 2.5 stories tall. So some of these ones that are directly adjacent to this will be at the toe of a slope, and the next one will be at the top of a slope. So these are important things that we keep in mind as we go through that or go through the process. If you drive out there today, you'll see that the ground is higher than Edelman Drive by a fairly significant distance. And that will be consistent with how all of these things start to layer around there. So these are challenging grading projects and certainly include a lot of retaining walls to make these flat sites for the development themselves. So this goes above and beyond what would typically be your normal outlot development. So we've worked with them a lot on this particular site to get it set up as we go east. And then on your screen is the signage that will be included. You can see there's another monument sign just for Wendy's, and then you would approved a overall Springs one as part of your Springs approval that would be in that southwest corner. Our recommendation is a motion to adopt staff's findings of fact and the approval of the amendment to the Springs at Lockport Plan Commercial Development. Second motion to approve a final re-subdivision plat for Lot 2 to create new lots 1, 2, and 3, and a motion to approve the final development plans for a 2152 square foot commercial building with the following conditions listed on your screen. I won't go through them. Mike, I think they can do this all in one fell motion. So if you approve the ordinance there tonight, these are all included within that ordinance. And it can obviously be on consent for next meeting or action if you choose.
I have a question. I don't know if this is relative to approving this part of it, but you go back to the queuing of the cars for the drive-through. I know Taco Bell, on their rush, they have people parked literally in the condominiums waiting to get queued up for the taco. McDonald's, I think, had the same problem. They put staging areas where you can pull off to the side to eliminate the back around the building. Do you have adequate space that sometime in the future, you start backing up onto, I don't know what that street name is there, that's in front of the Springs there?
Private Street A, right now. Yeah, what we have worked with them on, because of the drive-through, is a little bit challenging. One of the initial plans had the building actually flipped, so you can try and get the drive-through coming around to the south. But as we talk through that, you would see what is the backside of the building when you're driving down 159th Street. Our code doesn't really allow for that, and so we worked with them to try and get the circulation to go differently. There are some reserve spaces, just like there is at McDonald's, for mobile pickups and other things that will be in the parking lot. And there is more parking than what was required for this size building, so we feel comfortable that there is sufficient parking. But on a heavy day, opening day, I have no doubt that it will be out onto the private drive to a degree. So that is something, as we continue to march to the east with some of these, updating the overall traffic study that was done as a part of the Springs development is going to be an important part of that, so that we can make sure that we're managing traffic. Ultimately, where we will love to get in the future is to get the signal that was originally intended in 2009 when the Lockport Square development came through, to go in at their main entrance. 159th Street was designed for it. Their entrance was designed for it. That's why when you drive north on their main entrance, they have all the striped lanes that you theoretically don't go into. Those are intended for left turn lanes, through lanes, right turn lanes. 159th Street also has those very long striped lanes that are intended for a left turn lane in both directions. So everything is set up for that signal. There is a property on the north side of 159th Street that would need to be ascertained in order to accomplish that. Just like these properties, there are some significant grade changes on that property as well. More than likely, it will not be a project unto itself, just for that lot. It would have to incorporate the 50 acres that is behind it in some fashion.
One other question, I wasn't clear in terms. Darren, where are you? The sidewalk, I wasn't clear if it was going to be on the Pop side or the Wendy's side, because right now, if I walk to McDonald's from our office, you're walking on the street. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. If you see what is the dotted thick line that runs along the west side of the site plan, that is the sidewalk.
And that's going to end before you end up in the ditch, and you'll have to cross back over to the sidewalk?
It will end towards the corner, but if you see what's out there today, there's a guardrail, like one of the roadway crash guardrails.
Yeah, exactly.
That is IDOT's property. So in the same vein of not wanting to engage with IDOT at this time for this specific project, we've left that in place. And then ultimately, as a part of the larger sidewalk project, we would engage with that. The grading will change. There will be different ways that we're handling that intersection in order to try and provide complete pedestrian flow, both to the east ultimately, but also in the current state to go to the west.
Cool. In a perfect world, because you mentioned Wendy's, somebody's like, oh, Wendy's, 2025, 26, in a perfect world?
Yes.
Richard Silverman, MJK Real Estate. Thank you to everyone in the committee for hearing us tonight. In a perfect world, it was 2024, but in this real world right now, with my already owning the property and our civil engineering being fully done already and being submitted to the city for a third round review, my goal would be to break ground in the next 2 months here, and Wendy's would like to be open by year end. So it's certainly a lofty goal, but it's very achievable.
Cool. Yeah, great.
Are we doing the veneer, is it a full brick or is it a brick veneer?
I believe it is a thin brick, like we've used in a number of other locations. The Scooter has the thin brick. The Lot 9 over at Lockport Square has the thin brick. There are some portions that have a full depth brick, but it is one of the ways that every developer in every community meets masonry standards and keeps their costs lower.
I know it's a thing done, but I mean, what's your take on the longevity of it? I mean, stacked brick stays up for 1,000 years. I mean, how do you feel with the longevity of a veneer brick?
With the technology that's available today, I think it will probably last just as long as anything else. The way that it's attached to the building, the way that it's attached to the masonry itself, it is probably just as long-lasting as what you would find with a normal depth brick. And I think that that's why you're seeing it. Not only does it save cost, and save construction time, but it's also something that is a quality enough product that it has a long longevity to it.
I mean, I want to be sensitive to the skill of the installation. I've seen where we've used this in other places, and it wasn't lined up very well. Like it looks like,
You can kind of tell.
yeah, like a mismatched veneer. It wasn't done well. So, I mean, I'm a little cautious about that. I mean, eventually, we've talked a little bit about this whole site and with the grade changes and the need. I mean, I think eventually, Richard, you'll be looking at some kind of stiff, I've heard the rumors for. Does that mean you would not include this lot because you're not talking about it now, or are you looking at, how does that work with like what buildings would be included in that ask?
That would be for Phase 2 in next year for additional land we're looking to acquire. Certainly just east of the property I currently own the Sakalakis property, as well as I'm under contract for lots 3 and 4 that are a part of the Lockport Springs development. So our goal is to get our Phase 1 off with Wendy's right here. We'll have another proposal coming in front of Plan Commission in the next few months here for what we will be called Lot 2 of this subdivision. And then ultimately, what is Lot 3, which is the .74, if you could pull up the lands, can you go back to the plat of subdivision? Lot 3 is a .76 acres. My goal would to roll that into the lots east of it for 2 more food users that we're currently in negotiations and conversations with at this point in time. But with this significant grade change, there's going to be large retaining walls, 10, 12 feet between Lot 2 and 3 of the above, and then additional retaining walls for Phase 2 that we were talking about in the spring of next year that we would request a STIF to get the sites in developable condition.
I understand why you would ask. It's an extraordinary landscape, and it's a lot more expensive than a flat piece of property. So my question, though, still comes back to, if a STIF takes the tax money that comes in and it's shared off of those lots, will lot number 1, in your mind, be included in that STIF, or is that separate? This is kind of its own unit, and then you would look at a STIF for lots, 2 and 3 and further east.
Our request is not to, for a STIF at this point to get this development out of the ground. There is less site work involved with my current Phase 1 on the 2.76 acres we currently own. A lot more of the heavy lifting in terms of haul-off retaining walls and compacting soil for buildable conditions for foundations are involved in Phase 2 for the spring. But for the proposal that we are in discussions with right now would include the sales that Wendy's generates as part of the overall increase in sales tax that we've put in at Lockport, that we're proposing at Lockport Springs.
Okay, understood. Just kind of looking at it as a holistic development as far as the STIF goes.
Yeah, I guess just to provide some clarity, when we say Sakalakis property, that is the property kind of in the middle of that image that has the 2 houses that face north-south. It is an unincorporated parcel at this point. It would need to be annexed into the city, but that is a part of, the trend east. And then the right-in, right-out, you can kind of see it where it says drive. That's where the existing right-in, right-out as a part of the Springs development is currently located. And then there is one additional lot that is owned by the Springs Continental, that is to the east of that. And that would be the last property that would be a part of this commercial assemblage.
Okay. Ooh, can we call that road the Sakalakis Drive? Because everybody likes saying that word, yeah. Sakalakis Drive.
I'm sure Mike would appreciate that.
Is there, and I know that we're dealing with a big changing grade. In the back,
I was gonna say, what was that?
in the back part of the Springs, like the northwest corner there, where you see the adjoining office building, I mean, it's this giant trench. So it eliminates the ability to move from one property into the next without, I mean, you just don't walk. It seems to be I don't want to say it's what I want is some attention to be taken and walkability to be one of those factors that we look at, because I don't know how many times this has happened to anybody else, but you pull into Wendy's and somebody in the car wants the place next door, and I don't want them getting hit by a car going to the next spot over. And I do realize that there's really special challenges on this, but it would be great to have adjoining properties accessible.
There will be a sidewalk that runs along the south side of that private road, the entire length.
Okay.
So that will be a connection. There may be a couple internal north to south connections, depending on where some of the other entrances line up or drive-throughs. But there will be one on the north, and then our intent is to have one on the south in the 159th Street right away.
Great.
I assure you, though, city staff, Ben and Lance is they're on top of the sidewalks.
I've complained to them
It's a
before.
top of mind.
I know that they're taking my thoughts into consideration. It's tricky to get from, the south, or the north side to the south side across 159th, despite there being across there. It always seems a little dangerous to me, but some days I feel like the danger for Panera.
I was thinking about that the other day, I was walking to McDonald's.
Yeah, undoubtedly, at some point in the future, there will probably be countdown signals of some sort. My guess would be, either that or however we do it, more than likely, that would be a part of the solution.
Incentive to try to beat the light, because it's like, oh, we're at 5, okay, let's go, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's like, I can make this.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yep.
Any other questions, thoughts? No, it is exciting. I know the last time Wendy's was floated out there was disappointment when it didn't happen, so. But I would request an action on this one. So we'll put it up for action item. And then then last thing is, thank you, Ricky, I appreciate it, so, okay. Last, we have CA1, which is just, I want to talk a little bit about, strategic plan initiative. So we've done these in the past, JR, Joanne, Darren, of course, Christina, we've all been around and we've gone through these strategic plans. And, we're looking at bringing another one up this coming time. We have a new council, and basically, for those of you guys that are new to this, it's when we kind of we'll put out a survey to residents, gather some information, as we've had new growth, new subdivisions, and people have been here, and just kind of get feedback from everybody about like what they see as, where the city would like to go. So we gather feedback from residents. And then we take that, get together with staff. A lot of times we'll do a weekend meeting where we all just kind of really get together and just powwow through this stuff. They're open meetings, but we usually don't hold them here. We'll hold them over at the last time I think we did it was the conference room over at Holiday Inn Express or something. Just because we're there all day and we'll have some food, but people can attend if they want. But we'll really kind of talk about like any initiatives that are on your mind, things that you would like to see done as well, right? And so these are great opportunities for us to take in what the residents are looking for, things that you have a passion for, and we all kind of talk about it so we can get on the same page. And then, we'll look at having the strategic plan then coalesced into a document, and we have it out there, something that can be referred to, something that we can go back to. So I just want to let you guys know that's going to be coming up, and Lance and Ben will be getting that organized for us, so.
We'll try to do the survey in June and get the data, and then have some preliminary meetings in August and get together so that we can have it done by October before the budget session, so.
So start noodling around things that maybe you too have had a passion for that you want to bring up as we do this kind of stuff, so. But what great thing is when we started doing the native plantings, right? So stuff like that or anything else. All right, that's just an informational piece. All right, friends, if there's nothing else, then we can do a motion to adjourn. Motion. Okay.
Second.
All right, Steve, yeah. Second by Steve. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Don Cardamone. All right.
Second.